affiliation each time you ask a question during these news conferences. And recording the press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. If you're joining in on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We'll address questions in the room first and take questions from Zoom as time permits.
What's your hat on? Okay, cool. Thank you.
So with those pre-tournament announcements out of the way,
Please have all your cell phones silenced.
it's my job. Okay. If you're not too winded from talking to the TV guys, please give us your overview.
I thought Cam out of the gate gave us nine good outs and, got out of a key situation there, I think, in the second inning, and thought he threw the ball well, and really Luke and Hunter and Cohen after that. Offensively, they did some really good things against us. I thought we got a little bit out of our norm a little bit. I thought we were a little bit too reactionary to maybe things that weren't going our way or calls or things like that. I thought our body language was not up to normal standards, and at this time of year, you want it so bad. I think a lot of times, when things don't go your way, I think it's over magnified, and so I just talked to our guys a little bit about, hey, let's get back into, just living pitch for pitch, and I thought they just battled the whole day. It wasn't easy. Oral Roberts, as we know, leads the country in run differential from the seventh inning on, so they're never out of a baseball game, and especially after Friday night, being able to come back and secure the victory today was really awesome. But hats off to that club. 52 games, winning 52 games is hard to do, and they had an amazing season, and just hats off to Ryan and his whole team. And I just thought they're just a gritty bunch that played extremely hard. So.
Okay, let's open it up for questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand. We'll get a hand mic to you. And we'll start with Brendan back here.
Hi, Brendan Prizeman, Omaha World Herald. Cam, this question's for you. You went 3 innings and only gave up 1 hit against a team that was hitting almost 300 heading into today in the CWS. What were you seeing out there that was enabling you to mow down their lineup like you were in that first 3 innings of the game?
Really for me, it's just like Coach Schloss said, living pitch for pitch. I think a lot of times I get myself in trouble, and just having the mindset of living pitch for pitch, I just, it's exactly in the moment. So just worrying about executing pitch to pitch. I don't have to worry about, who's hitting 300, who's hitting 250, 450, whatever it may be. Just executing pitch for pitch and trying to give my team the best chance to win is, how I tried to go about it today.
Okay, Aaron, you had your hand up.
Yeah, Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Curtis, Anthony, the 5th inning obviously kind of seemed like you guys had an opportunity there and pounced on it. That's something this team does pretty well. And also, of course, the way you guys forced the action. If you could just kind of expand upon the way this team's style of play can impact the opponent and how you feel like that worked today.
Curtis, start.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the biggest thing, they were doing a really good job of making good pitches, kind of slowing us down a little bit, nibbling off the plate. They were doing a great job executing. But I think the biggest thing for us, Coach talked about it, it's all about winning pitches, especially down the stretch in that 5th inning on, and really just not trying to do too much and let our training, everything take over, and just not trying to, force the issue at that point of the game.
Anthony?
Throughout this whole season, we've probably been in every situation possible, so we know how to handle all of that, and we've practiced every situation possible. So, it's what we've been training all season long since the fall, and we just need to play our game, and that's exactly what we did.
Okay, go over here.
Matt Tallery from World Baseball Network. Anthony, what was just the mindset going into that at-bat in the 5th inning and just staying back on the baseball?
I was just trying to get a good pitch to hit, and he did make a good pitch low and away, and I stuck my bat out there and found some grass. That's all that happened.
Okay. Up here.
Barry Lewis with Killer Frogs. Curtis, Friday I think you had one hit, Sunday no hits. How did it feel? 2 at-bats, 2 big hits.
Yeah, the first 2 games didn't really go my way, I would say, especially yesterday. But, just sticking with my routine and my process, not worrying too much about the outcome right now. I think that was the biggest thing today. Just all about winning pitches, and, it worked out for me today.
Okay, next question for the student athletes. Okay, Brendan.
Hi, Brendan Prizeman, World Herald. This question's for all 3 of you guys. This is kind of a measure of revenge, given what happened in the last Oral Roberts game. Was that a motivator for the mentality at all, especially as the game got later on, or was it just, Cam, like you said earlier, taking things one game at a time and just focusing on the present?
Cam, you start.
Yeah, I don't think anything had to do with it. We're playing in Omaha in an elimination game. I think that's the motivation we needed. We've been doing it all year with our backs against the wall. And Coach Lowe's talked about that, right after that game on Friday. And I think for us, there's nothing that needs to be said between all of us. Through everything that we've been through this entire year, we've all really grown and meshed as one unit. Everything's been just super tough, super fun. Everybody loves each other, everybody fights, everybody's brothers. And so, the motivation is just playing for each other and playing for the name on the front and just trying to take it one day at a time.
Curtis?
Yeah, I don't think you could really say better than that. I think Cam really nailed it on the head.
Anthony?
I agree.
Good. Okay, Matt, this will be our last question for the student athletes.
Oh, sorry.
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review. Cam, after those first few pitches were out of the zone to start the game, kind of took a moment off the mound to, compose yourself in some manner. What did you do there? How did you settle back in? How did you get through that first inning and then through that second?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I'll reference back when Coach Lewis took a mound visit, not in that inning, but it's just like he told me we've been here before. We've gotten out of this before, and that's just kind of like something that I'm comfortable in. When the pressure's on, just keep fighting and going pitch for pitch. And, when you're focusing on just winning one pitch at a time, it really doesn't seem like anything else has happened. And I think that was super important for me and my success for the rest of that inning, for the rest of my outing. If I would have let one bat at bat, ruin the rest of that first inning, maybe there's a hole that our offense has to dig, and I didn't want to be a part about that. So just living pitch for pitch and try my best to execute was, all that I needed to do.
Okay, guys, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is Lance here? Did Lance come? Lance Brown?
I don't think he did. No.
Thanks, guys. Okay, open it up for questions for Kirk, and we'll start with Mike here.
Michael Presti, NCAA.com. Kirk, when a team has had to fight for weeks with its back to the wall, how important and valuable is that now when you're going in a situation where you're fighting for survival?
Well, I think it's super important. I think because, I've said it before, we've been playing kind of this style or this type of game situation, for 6 weeks. So I think it's just what they've been doing, and I don't think now it's, there's a second deck on the stadium and there's 23,000 people. I don't think it has changed anything. It's the same thing it was when we, really needed to win 2 out of 3 up at K-State and play good baseball down the stretch. I think they finally realized, I don't know if realized is the right word, but I think they got consistent at being consistent, and I think that's the great thing is being able to see that from a ball club that has had stretches where it wasn't very consistent. So that's the neat thing about coaching 18 to 22-year-old kids is it's fun when they all grab hold of it together and don't want it to end. And I think that's what this group is doing. They're just, they got their head down. They haven't taken a second to look up, and I think they're enjoying what they've been able to do.
Okay, let's go Sam here.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. I wanted to ask you about the second called out there at third base. Yeah. What did the umpire tell you? I noticed online there was a previous play earlier this year where a similar thing had happened. What did the umpire tell you, and what maybe needs to change about the rule interpretation?
Well, the umpire told me that, the call on the field was that obviously they got Elijah out, and then he called Austin safe. And so when they went back and reviewed the play, they saw that Austin was off the bag, and it didn't really matter that he was forced off the bag because the umpire on the field did not say there was obstruction. So as soon as the call on the field, he didn't say there was obstruction, then you can't actually go and I can't go and review the fact that, hey, he was pushed off the bag. The only thing that they can review is the fact that he was off the bag and he was tagged out. They can't review if he was pushed off or not because it wasn't ruled that way on the field.
Would you like to see the NCAA revisit that?
That's way above my pay grade. Obviously, with the length of the review, I think there was a lot of questions, maybe going back and forth in terms of, because I hadn't seen that and I had never been a part of that. So I think there was probably a lot of talk back and forth back in the replay studio, figuring out what are the steps here. Because I think they probably went through multiple steps. All right, Elijah was tagged out. Okay, yes. Austin Davis, he was on the bag and then he was off the bag. Okay, and then was he tagged? Okay, yes, he was. And like I said, if the umpire's judgment, you can't really review the judgment of an umpire because he didn't make the call that it was. And I don't blame him. I mean, he had a dive, a tag, right into another tag, and there was 3 bodies all right there. And so for him he got all the calls right. Well, he got the call right with Elijah. And then I think at that point, it was just so many bodies. There really he didn't call obstruction, and there wasn't anything that I don't think he could do. But I thought for the most part, in terms of the ruling on that and the ruling on the balk or the overturn on that, I thought that was done well, extremely well. I thought they got the calls right, and obviously that one didn't go our way. And it was mainly our fault for even putting ourselves in that position by our base runners. So,
okay, Matt.
Matt DiMarinis, White Miller Review. Kirk, I mean, I'm sure you can understand that part of the beauty of baseball is its quirks, and you see things that maybe you've never seen before happen. What was that 5th inning like for you, doing your interview with ESPN, then you have a call where you have to go talk to the umpires, back to the interview, losing a run off the board, then breaking the dam and opening the game up?
Yeah, I think, part of those in-game interviews, like I don't do a whole lot when our hitters are hitting. Coach Bruce and Coach Delara and Coach Mosiello and our offense is doing everything. I kind of just sit on the rail and cheer like the rest of our guys. And so being down there and, I got a good buddy up in the booth, Chris Burke. And so we had the interview, and then that happens, and it's kind of like, okay, this is fun. Let's go see what he has to say. And but I think the big thing was being able to overcome that and figuring out a way to score some more runs. And it obviously was big because you got the bases loaded and a guy with a bunch of home runs standing in there, in a 3-2 count. It's a little bit different if it's a 2-1 or 3-1 game.
Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Los, this team now has been here for, played 3 games and won a couple. First of all, does it feel like, can you sense, maybe an added comfort level that comes once you're out here a few days and you kind of get that extra maybe confidence boost from being used to the setting? And secondly, the way that you were able to string this game together on the mound today and what you've got now rested for tomorrow, do you feel like it's kind of setting up pretty well for you pitching-wise? Yeah,
I mean, the first part of the question, I think anytime you come here, your goal is to win the College World Series. And, I've been luckily enough been here 7 different times and I don't think we've been able to win a game. And I think sometimes when you get here and you get caught up in everything, you forget about the baseball portion of it. And I think this group has done a really good job of handling all the distractions and being able to play baseball. But I think after losing the first game in the way that we did, I thought the way that they responded to it against Virginia and winning that game, I think gave them a little bit of a comfort of being able to be here, get to play on Tuesday, and to get another practice, to be able to be with one another. I think our plane, the people that we flew with, I think we almost were over our weight limit because everybody packed pretty heavily because we're planning on being here for a long time. So I didn't really want to be part of a deal where you pack for 10 days, 2 weeks, and next thing you know, you're back home in 3 days. So, but our guys, give them the credit. That's amazing in terms of, I think they just like to play baseball, and when the game comes calling, they're ready for it. And the second part of it, I think the big thing was, Hunter Hodges, getting Luke back out there, but then Hunter Hodges coming in, and I don't remember the last time, Hunter threw in a game for us. It's been a bit, and he's been able to come into situations like I told him. I said, hey, when bases loaded, first and second, I want that guy to be you. And for him to come in and give us 2 1/3 innings was huge for us. And then Cohen have a really good 8th inning, making things interesting in the 9th. But, I thought those 2 guys were huge in terms of us moving forward if we got the opportunity to play tomorrow, to be able to, get 4 1/3 innings from 2 guys that haven't been used a whole lot in the last 2 weeks. So that was pivotal. I don't know who we're going to throw tomorrow, but it's going to be someone that's pretty good, and we'll string it together and we'll figure it out. I know somebody was going to ask me who the starter is, so I'll tell you now. I don't know.
We're going to have to cut it off there on time. So thanks, Kirk.
You bet. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep. Need to remind you that Hammond Communications posts a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Okay, those of you just joining us, please remember to turn off your cell phones and no video recording on cell phones in this room, please. Ryan, give us an overview, please.
Yeah, just, obviously not the way we want it to end, but a little bit bittersweet in the fact that, it does end in Omaha. I think if it's ever going to end, this is where you want it to end. But, man, proud of the way our guys competed all year long. I don't think today is by any way going to define our season, but man, what a great run! I'm so thankful to be part of such a historic group that made a run like this. So I'm proud of the way our guys hung in there. It did not go well for us. I thought we played pretty sloppy all the way around. Again, when you score 1 run against good clubs, that's not a recipe to win for sure. We left another 12 guys on base today, 13 yesterday or Sunday, and just not enough. We could never get that big swing. We couldn't have that big moment today, and just wasn't our day. But, man, I just don't want it to overshadow what this team has accomplished and what this team has done. So proud to be part of it.
Okay, we'll open up for questions for the student athletes. Again, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. And we'll start here with Sam.
Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. This is for both of you. To echo your coach, I mean, you guys made it here from the Summit League, and you won a ton of games. How would you summarize the season? I'm sure this stings in this moment, but how would you summarize your achievement this year in getting here and winning a game here?
Cade, you start, please.
I mean, the way I'd summarize it is this team is probably one of the most gelled together teams I think I've ever played on. Like we've said many times going into the fall, we knew we had a talented team, but none of us knew it would gel the way it did and the way that we performed out on the field every single day, and especially during that last half of the season during the win streak. I mean, I've never seen baseball played so fundamentally well, and just it was exciting baseball, and obviously to get here and win a game didn't go the way we wanted it to the last two games, but I mean, I can't fault any of these guys. They've had a great year, and I mean, it's been fun.
Jake?
Yeah, obviously not how we wanted it to end, but if you're going to play your last game somewhere, you might as well be at Charles Schwab Field, It's a historic year for our program. I think we have the program record in wins, second time ever being in Omaha, so obviously a very good year overall for us, but just ran out of magic at the end.
Okay.
Darren Wallace, Mako Sports. Again, for both of you guys, if you want, obviously coming here, being from a smaller conference, the SEC is here, the ACC is here. Everybody knows those schools, but not too many people were familiar with Oral Roberts coming in. What can you say about the mark you left with all the fans in general, just getting familiar, getting to know you guys, and really ultimately rooting for you at various points throughout your time here?
Jake, you begin.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our conference, not necessarily as big a name as all the other, Power 5 schools, but in terms of our region, I would say, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, I would say Oral Roberts is very well known, and we have, a very good track record of the baseball that we've been able to play since our, institution was founded. But in terms of, gaining national attention, this is probably something that's going to propel our program for the next 10 to 15 years, I would say. So that's huge. And, just for our athletic department in general, this is something that is very special.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's good baseball everywhere. You just got to find it. There's 330 some odd Division I baseball programs out there, and there are definitely few that didn't make it here to Omaha that I think, even from the smaller programs, that I think could have left a mark here too. I think we were the lucky one to get in this year, and I wouldn't call it luck, but obviously baseball is a game that anybody can win against anybody, and we've proven that in years past, and we've proven it this year too. So, I mean, obviously the Summit League being a smaller conference and not having the nationwide recognition week to week, I think we went out and put on a show for the Summit League, and especially for our school and the name that we wear on our chest, and especially to God. All glory to Him. We wouldn't be here without Him. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's gotten us to this point this year, too, support staff, coaches, just everybody. So,
Okay, Matt, here.
Matt Tallerini from World Baseball Network. Cade and Jake, what does it mean to just wear the Golden Eagles uniform across your chest, let alone just about alumni, many close family and friends, alongside former Major League players that have worn the Oral Roberts uniform? What does it mean to just carry that legacy and from here on out and what the future holds?
It means everything to me. I grew up I'm from Tulsa, so I'm a local kid. I grew up going to ORU games. I wasn't a highly recruited guy. Coming out of high school. Coach Fulmer and his staff was the only staff in the country to give me a shot. So to be able to put this uniform on every day and represent this university is very special. And just in terms of our alumni and everybody that's come before us, we wouldn't be here without the foundation laid by them and the support they've continued to give us throughout the years. now as I'm an alumni, I hope I can keep supporting the guys that come after me, and I'm sure Cade feels the same way as well.
I mean, I'd just like to thank the fans. I mean, the support they showed over the past 3 weeks in Stillwater, in Eugene, and here in Omaha, it's been amazing. I haven't seen anything like it in my career playing baseball. I've seen so many people from so many different walks of life come out and support, whether or not they're ORU alum, friends of ORU alum, friends of players from years past, or just people that want to come out and support the school. So it's been amazing. Like I said, just like to thank the fans for their undying support for us this run.
Okay, we have time for one more question for the players. And if not, guys, you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on a great season. Thank you. Okay, now we'll open up for questions for Orion, and we'll start here with Matt.
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review. Ryan, I know this is probably not the right time to ask it because the emotions are raw, but what is this group going to mean to you, do you think, as you think about the run, especially going through your alma mater and getting here? It just seemed like the type of baseball you guys were playing these last couple of weeks was kind of easy to latch onto.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun to watch, too. I've said this, I've had the best seat in the house all year long, and what a fun group to be able to be a part of. You know, what it means historically, I don't know yet. We'll take some time and process that now that we're done, but, when you're in the moment, I don't think you really think in those terms in the moment. But we have a chance to reflect a little bit. I mean, it's been well chronicled, the run these guys have been on, and we'll see what that means for our program and our university moving forward. We hope it helps continue to build and continue to get our brand out there. It's something we're very proud of. We're very unique. Obviously, being a small Christian school with a special value set is extremely important to us as well. So hopefully people get that message.
Okay, Aaron?
Aaron Fitt, D1 baseball coach. Back to the game for a second. The fifth inning there seemed like obviously a pretty pivotal moment. A lot of kind of weird stuff going on. I mean, how do you kind of?
It was a weird game, right?
Yeah, it was a weird game.
Not just that inning. You look throughout the game, and it was just it was an awkward game. There was no rhythm. There was no flow. There was long breaks. On and on and on. There was just nothing to the game. We couldn't get going. We couldn't get in rhythm. You couldn't establish anything. So it was a strange game, not just that inning, but I thought it was strange. For us, we knew coming in, we were going to have to play clean. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to execute at a high level, and we're going to have to eliminate free passes. And, man, we just weren't able to do that. Again, offensively, Sunday we left 13 on. Tonight this afternoon we left 12 on. Walked too many guys. We had balks. It was just a weird game. It was a crazy game. I don't even know how to explain it. I think when I have a chance to go back and watch it, it's probably going to be a little bit boring too because everything just took so long. The game was so fast all year long, and I don't know what the game time was, but it had to be a 3.5-hour game. Had to be. So, man, it was just we didn't feel like we could get in rhythm for whatever reason.
Did that answer a question? I didn't think there was.
Sorry,
a
I didn't know.
question.
Yeah, I figured that's probably where you were going with it. Yeah.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Sam.
Coach Sam McCune from the World Herald. I wanted to actually ask you about the length of the game. Today was actually rare. It was longer than normal, but most of the year it seems like the games have been a little tighter, and most of the CWS games have been shorter. How have you kind of liked some of the changes that have been made in the sport, and how did that maybe contribute to the CWS up until this game?
I think everybody likes it. I don't think there was anything that came out negative about the pace of play in the game. I think at the beginning of the year, especially those first probably 3 to 5 games, I think it was a little bit different, right? You felt a little bit more rushed than what you have been. But at the end of the day, I didn't hear one complaint during the season as to, man, games are going too fast. I think that's what fans wanted. I think it's good for players. I think it's good for student-athlete welfare. I think it's good for the game. You're seeing it in Major League Baseball now. I think everybody's enjoying that part of it. The pace of play has been better, has improved. Not here this afternoon, but for the most part, I think people enjoy it.
Ryan, thank you. Again, congratulations on a great season.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.